Hey, how's it going? Just wanted to show you guys something that I just got a box from a company called Desert Does It. It's actually a pretty small company, but they're actually trying to do pretty great things right now. So I just opened this box, and inside here, there's a couple items that are going to be pretty cool that I'm going to be trying out and checking out for these guys. So right now, it looks like a bunch of brackets and other stuff like that, but what I'm going to do, this is pretty dope. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a quick kind of tutorial, and definitely a sick patch. Got to get one of those. So here's the brackets, instructions and toolkits and stuff like that, or the tool instructions about what we need to do. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you real fast about where it's going to go and how it's going to be. So there's a couple other pieces that I didn't add yet, or I didn't carry in my hand, but either way. So the point of this is going to be, move a couple things out of the way. So the point of this is going to be, these are seat jackers. So the seat will come out and this will raise up with that, and it will hop on right there. And in the back, there's jackers that will go on this. So the seat itself will actually rise up. And so this MMP, or the multi-mount panel, will actually go right here, and you can see that there's molly grooves and such on that too. So that's actually going to go right across the front in terms of the jackers. So once I actually get this stuff all set up, I'll show you guys a little bit more. Alright, this is episode 2 of the Desert Does It seat jacker and MMP bracket installation. So what I'm going to show you real quick is there's 3 different projects that are actually going on at the same time. So it doesn't seem like it's a lot of moving parts, but there's a little bit of finesse that has to go into it at the same time to make it go. So you can do any single one of these projects in terms of the front seat jackers or the rear seat jackers individually, or you can do the MMP individually. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do all 3 at one time. So the instructions, they're designed to show you how to do it one at a time, but it's like loosen this and don't loosen that. But the thing is I have to take the whole seat out anyways. So, but what it does seem to do is it makes sense to just do one piece at a time. So focus on the front seat jackers and just loosen the rear, and then install the rear seat jackers without tightening these all down. So the brackets for the MMP actually connect kind of to the back of that, and they lock into this little groove that's, well, you'll see it eventually, but they lock into this little groove right there, and it will screw down with the seat bolts. So what we did already is we got started, kind of prepped everything so we can get rolling. So we have is removed the initial plastics. I'm gonna turn the light on. So remove the initial plastics and trim that cover the seat brackets and the bolts. So slid the seat forward so I can access it a little bit better. So right now I'll just move it back so that way we can get to the front. I'll pull this mat out so I can get started, and I'll do the front ones, and we'll go from there. Okay, so what I have is the seat actually unbolted. So I have the bolts still in the back, but they're really, really loose. So now I can actually lift the seat up, no problem. So really, before I vacuum, so really how this is gonna go is this roll pin right here is gonna fit into this hole right there, and it's going to bolt down just like normal. So then you'll have the seat jacker, so you have elevation like that. I'll get the other one just to give frame of reference. Kind of like that. Okay, and so on the front of this is where the molly panel is going to actually mount down. So it'll latch right onto that, bolt right in. It's actually pretty nice looking. So looking forward to seeing that come together too. And then once I get this all tightened up, what I will do is I will get the rear section jacked up as well. You can see that these roll pins that were initially right here for the seat just go right down into the groove, so it just sets on here right nicely. Okay. So here's what we got. We got a couple options. So we have the first set of jackers. The front jackers are actually on. I just haven't tightened them all the way down yet. So this is the original OEM bolt. This is the new mount that elevated us. So this is where the MMP is going to mount to. So I have an option. So if I want to take the MMP and I want to affix it and connect it across, let me get this way, change hands. So if I want to connect it across like that, you can see that it's almost flush with the floor. Okay, so but what you have is an option with additional brackets. So the brackets that you can pick up from Desert Does It is actually fits right here in this slot and gives you about another 1.5 inches of elevation. So what that will do is it will take your MMP, which is actually pretty freaking phenomenally powder coated, and it's excellent quality, I have to say. It's light, it's aluminum, it's really nice. So, but that will make it so it's about this high. So you can see I can run my fingers through it and I can put whatever underneath it. So if you're attaching like a fire extinguisher, a first aid kit, weapon, radios, whatever you want, this might be a better option to give you some good elevation. So while being down at the floor and just using the jackers to attach it to is a great option, it's also a pretty freaking phenomenal that there's an ability to elevate it up. And I'm going to go that route this time and see how this goes. It doesn't look like it's going to impact any of the seat height or impact where my legs or my feet or anything are going to be. So that's like the #1 concern at this point in time. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to install these the actual MMP brackets that are provided, and these can be used as a standalone choice. So if you didn't want the seat jackers but you wanted the MMP, you can go with just that. So that's an option for you too. You don't have to elevate your seat to have the MMP. So you got choices here, which is pretty awesome. Great job, Desert Does It. Okay, I'm going to show you the rear seat jacker portion right now. So here's the thing that Desert Does It does for you. It's actually pretty interesting. They give you a set of jackers, of shims to actually put in, and it looks like some cool backgammon pieces. But really what you have is 1/2 inch spacers. You have, excuse me, this is 1/4 inch spacers, 1/2 inch spacers, and 3/4 inch spacers. So you can use any combination thereof. So you can go to 3/4 right there, or you can go to 1 inch like that, or you can go even higher than that. So you have a pair for either side. So however you want to make it go based on your own seat preference, that's up to you. And if that's the case, then you have a couple different bolt options to put back in. So if you're going with the 3/4 or higher, you're going to use the 60 millimeter. Otherwise, you're going to use the 40 millimeter. Okay, so that's what that's going to look like. So these bolts are going to come out, and they're going to probably stay out for good. Then we'll go ahead and decide on how high I want the rear to go. So the front is actually up about 3/4 of an inch right now. So what I might do is I might go with about 1 inch of elevation in the back, and then I can still have the pivoting motion from the seats, like the automatics and stuff like that. So that's not going to change. I'm just going to be a little bit higher as a result. So that's also going to give me the elevation from the floor, so I can utilize more space underneath too. In addition to that, Desert Does It is they have almost completed, or they're in the process of it, is developing a rear section like this as well, so you can mount different pieces back there too. So be prepared for the mounts to go that way, especially the brackets that hold fire extinguishers and such like that too. It's actually pretty cool. So far everything's going good. I haven't had any issues. Nothing with threads, nothing with bolts, nothing with anything. It's only just me getting back and forth and moving the seat forward and back in order to make this thing go. So other than that, it's actually been a super easy install, and it's actually pretty cool. I can't say it's surprising, but it's just something I hadn't thought of. So there's that. So anyways, Desert Does It. Okay, back to the front section. I have the MMP actually installed at this point. I don't have it completely tightened down yet. I'm about to, but this is what I wanted to bring up as kind of a pro tip. Pro tip would be follow the instructions that are provided for you, because it'll actually go a lot easier if you just pay attention. So I did that, but I wanted to just make sure that you guys understood kind of what I'm looking at. So if you tighten this bolt down, this will be at some other odd angle and it won't align with either side. So the idea is don't tighten the front seat down to the seat jackers, or tighten it down underneath the bracket until you actually affix the MMP to the seat mounting bracket. Okay, so very, very important. So the front perspective is something like that. It's actually really, really nice. The quality is good. The bolts are really nice, so it's all stainless steel. Everything's good. Like I said, the powder coating is pretty fantastic. So one thing to be aware of is, I haven't tested it yet, but I imagine that if you use the brackets like this, you may not be able to get the plastic trim back more or less installed. So as I slide this back to a normal position, because I don't sit that far back, I'm not 9 feet tall, this is kind of what it's going to look like from the front, like that. And this is what my rear looks like. And let me open the door. So this is what the rear looks like, and I'll put the trim back over that. The trim's going to go back over the rear section, no problem at all. So all in all, I'm really, really happy with this. I'm excited, so I'm going to start mounting some things to this. It is MOLLE, so you can wrap and groove through this just as any which way you want. You can attach anything to it. So whether you zip tie, use MOLLE straps, you use any other clip. I mean, you could hook a radio to it. You could strap a pistol to it. You could do whatever you want to do to it. Extra mags, name it, it's going on there. So good for you. Awesome job, Desert Does It. Really proud to put this up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and try it out, see what I need to do, or see if there's any adjustments I need to make. More importantly, I just need to see, is 1 inch exactly what I needed to do in the back? Is it too high? Is it too low? And I can go with another modification. So I still have the quarter or the half-inch spacers that are available, so I can go back into whatever kind of sizing option that I have there. And just to reiterate, in the front, I didn't have any issues with my seat mat the floor mat going into this installation process. In fact, I didn't even take it out. I was curious to see if it was going to be an issue in there at all, and it's not. It fits in there super snug. I never even had to touch it. So just a heads up. All right, thanks again. Appreciate you watching. All right, so let's get the final word on some of this. So I was able to get the plastic, where's it? The trim back on. So that's no problem at all. It went right on very, very simply. So what was that? So anyhow, so here's what this looks like. I am happy with the 1 inch elevation that we have in the back. Clearly, I don't want to hit my head on the hand grip up there, or whatever it should be. I wish that I had one of these over there. I know there's a kit for that, but either way, neither here nor there. So the trim went on the back seat just fine, no problem. So everything tied up in here nice and clean. Clearly there is a little bit of a gap compared to what it used to be, but hey, you know what? I have elevation over there now. It actually feels really fantastic in terms of the distance of where my knees were to where the floor is now. So it's actually really good. So that's a plus as well, in addition to the awesome MMP that I have in front now. So Desert Does It did a good job. Got their patch rocking right up in there now, and a bunch of other people's patches too. So if you see yours on here, awesome. I'm glad to have it. So and I'll take any more. So if anybody wants one of mine, they're right there. Make sure that you hit up Desert Does It. I'll put up some links, but it's at Desert Does It, and they're on Instagram. So if you don't have any, or if you have any questions, or you're not sure where to go, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to point you in the right direction and give you any tips for the install. Take care. Thanks again.